After years of silence, after years of kneeling, obeying, and bleeding beneath the weight of tyranny, the red cloaks are no longer symbols of submission. They are flags of resistance. And in Season 6, Episode 8 of The Handmaid's Tale, the revolution finally begins. June Osborne once wore the red to survive. Now, she wears it to fight. Infiltrating the wedding of Serena and High Commander Wharton, she and her fellow handmaids entered the belly of the beast, dressed as lambs to slaughter, but ready to strike like lions. A plan years in the making, born from pain, anger, and an unbreakable bond among the women who refused to be broken. With the help of Rita Blue, the unassuming Martha turned silent assassin, the wedding cake became the ultimate act of rebellion. Laced with sedatives, sweet revenge was served. As the poison settled into their veins, so too did the seeds of freedom begin to sprout. While the high and mighty slumped over their goblets, June moved like a shadow of justice, straight to Commander Bell. A blade, a stare, a final word before she plunged steel into the eye of her tormentor. Commander Bell's scream was short. His reign ended not with a war, but with a whisper and a stab. She saved Janine, not just from a commander, but from a system that sought to crush every trace of her soul. Together, they returned to the Red Center, not to kneel, but to rise. And what of Aunt Lydia? The once devout enforcer of Gilead's doctrine arrived unannounced. She had sensed the change, in June's presence, in the untouched cake, in the very air. She demanded obedience. She sought control. But this time she found the truth. June stood before her. No longer a handmaid, not a rebel, not even a leader, but a mirror. A mirror to the sins Lydia could no longer ignore. For all her sermons, Lydia had been an architect of nightmares. And June's words, raw, truthful, piercing, finally broke through. It wasn't a knife or a speech that changed Lydia. It was the truth, spoken by Janine, the girl they all tried to break, the girl who kept fighting. And so, the gatekeeper became the gate opener. The handmaids stepped into the new day, not as prisoners, but as warriors. Meanwhile, Serena Joy, once the face of the regime, now a woman betrayed. Again, her new husband, polished, poised, and poisonous, presented her with a gift, a new handmaid. Serena knew that look, that story, that horror, and she refused to play along. With her child in arms and fury in her blood, Serena walked away, again. But this time, perhaps for good, because now, even she understands, Gilead cannot be fixed. It must be burned. The plan worked. One by one the commanders fell. This was not just revenge. It was revolution. For June Osborne, it was never just about escape. It was always about freedom for all. In the end, Episode 8 marks the turning point we've been waiting for since the beginning. The red cloaks are no longer symbols of ownership. They are uniforms of war. And as Gilead begins to bleed, it's clear, this time, the handmaids might just win. They were made to kneel. They chose to rise. This is no longer a tale. It's a reckoning.